Welcome to my journey through the Bible. This will be applications you can apply to your life and a little more in depth about the chapter. We are in 1 Samuel 31, verses 1 through 13. And I'm sure that Saul had heard all the stories about Samson and how the Philistines would torture and physically abuse their captives, especially kings. And Saul probably figured it was a lot better to kill himself as opposed to deal with the torture that the Philistines would give him. Now, Saul had asked his arm bearer to kill him, and the arm bearer did not. He was afraid. Now, there is times when we have to do things that we don't necessarily agree with. But when we know something is wrong, we should not do it no matter what the consequences are. And for this arm bearer, if he would have allowed the king to die, he knew that he would be given death because he did not protect the king. He was to protect the king with his own life. So once he saw that the king was dead, he turned around and killed himself. Now, Saul was physically tall, but in God's eyes, he was very small. And Saul was very handsome on the outside, but was very ugly on the inside. Saul was rich by the eyes of men, but he was spiritually bankrupt. And Saul gave orders to many, but he could not order and demand respect. And so Saul might have been physically handsome and good on the outside, but he was decaying on the inside, because a real relationship with God and a strong character is better than good looks and riches of the world. Now, we can look at 3 different men and the characters that they each stood for. We see that Saul was a king, but he was inconsistent and very disobedient, and he was self-willed. Now, Samuel, he was consistent, he was obedient, and he had deep desire for God's will. And then we see David, a man after God's own heart, who was very consistent with obeying and bringing everything to God, looking for his guidance and for his will. He had true love and desire for God. Now, Saul tried to please God with spurts of religious and faith, but real spiritual growth comes from consistent obedience day after day. So if we want to build strong character, we have to obey God daily and stack those obedience days one on top of another until we have built a spiritually strong life and characteristics. And if we will continue to work on our character as far as being the things that God wants us to be, doing the right thing, being honest, being trustworthy, being obedient, loving and sharing and caring for other people, then we will build a strong defense against temptation. And then we should live each day consistently in obedience to God. May God be with you in everything and in every way.